But would it? Because ice can be technically -0 degrees or -1 degree.
I don't know.
Fahrenheit.
Can it?
Like the frozen point of ice of water is 32 degrees, but that doesn't mean the limiting temperature that water can be is 32 degrees, right?
Water or ice?
Ice.
You said water.
I'm sorry. Well,
I'm
water
thinking
and
about
ice are the same thing.
The reason I'm even questioning that is because I'm thinking about it the opposite. When water boils off, it can't get higher than 212.
So let's think of a lake in Manitoba in January.
Let's start. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Started out a little hot there.
Right now we're on a lake.
It is episode 38.
Not on a river.
Episode 38 of Up a Creek with Two Paddles. So we got no emails.
Aww.
Which is not surprising at all, but I'm thinking it's going to be so funny if we shout out this email address every week for like a year.
We
just
should
never get emails. We just keep shouting it out and never like read any of our emails.
Well, people send emails when they need something. You know what I mean? So if we get an email, it's going to be something like, yo, can you guys give me some money or something?
Well, Quinn is currently catching up. I think he's on episode 27.
Is he stateside?
Yes, I believe Albuquerque, New Mexico.
For basic?
No, he's...
Has he done basic?
Yeah, he's finished with that. He's finished
Word.
with officer school.
Word.
So, I guess the term is stationed in Albuquerque.
I thought he was going to be in Alabama.
That's where he was, and then he finished officer school, and now he's in New Mexico. Yeah, he was in Alabama, I guess, for 6 or 8 weeks, something like that.
Is ISIS and
they're all together.
Belladonna or can go with him wherever.
Yeah, they're all together
unless he
now.
goes overseas.
Yeah, I mean, even then, I'm not sure, but yeah, when Quinn catches up,
dude, that's such a sick job. I bet his days are so much more interesting than ours.
Oh, dude, he's told me about the lab he's working in and like all the equipment he has access to and all the cool shit. And like he's currently working on trying to determine a specific orbit that a satellite would need in order to carry out a certain mission most effectively and efficiently.
Okay, right.
I don't want to speak any more into that because it's military surveillance.
Is that what it's involving?
Yes.
So
I don't know that much, and also I don't know how much Quinn can tell me. I don't think he's like, I don't think anything classified, but like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I wonder if he has any. I don't remember.
But hold on, before we get up, let me finish the email.
Okay.
I was just going to say, hopefully, when Quinn catches up to the episodes where we start talking about the email, maybe at least he'll talk to us. Maybe we'll have one correspondent. But yeah, upacreek@thepaddlepod.com if you want to write in.
That's a snappy little email address, dude.
Yeah, it's fun.
upacreek@thepaddlepod.
Also, if you want to support us and just give us money for free, go to thepaddlepod.com and click that little support button. Give us some money.
So easy.
Yeah, it's so simple. Like $3 a month. Come on.
Shit. I know you got Apple Pay.
We're providing basically no entertainment for free. It's worth $3 a month.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, let's see. We put out one podcast a month. That's an hour, right? Like if you were paying for one podcast a week. I'm sorry. So 4 podcasts a month at 1 hour.
Typically, it's more. Typically, it's about an hour 20. So I'd say it's probably 5 to 5.5 hours worth of content per month. So
that's true.
But
let's call it 5 hours.
But Netflix is what, $15 a month, and it's infinite hours of entertainment.
That's true.
Don't give us your money.
But also
we don't deserve it.
That's also true.
That is very true. Don't give us our money.
Yeah, just like go to that little link and don't give us any money. But no, I know. But then you still have to devote your time to actually watching the Netflix.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is like if you're paying for, I guess the radio has always been free, unless you like once you buy a radio, you can just listen to the radio station. Right, that's the only way that they make money, right?
Right, yeah.
Because no one paid the radio station to listen to it. Like when you're in your car, you don't have to make your monthly radio unless you have Sirius.
Yeah.
But like back in the day, I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking like you're providing like hours of entertainment like if these like professional people who do podcasts like 3 or 4 times a week,
Yeah.
like you're providing like that many hours a week of entertainment and like, you know, I mean, that's valuable. It really
It's definitely
is.
valuable. I wouldn't put us in that category.
No.
We're not valuable.
No.
We're just shooting the shit.
I just like to be at least somewhat a part of the cultural conversation because
That's a big part of it. And also, like, it's just, we talk about this too much, but it's just nice to sit down and talk.
that's a good point too. Just
Like-
being practicing the art of friendship. It's almost
Yeah, like it's one
in
thing
the way
to,
that we do it.
right. And it's one thing to, like, you know, casually converse with your spouse or your significant other as you're going throughout the day. But that's not the same as sitting down and like, hey, we have some shit we want to talk about. Let's try to talk about it.
That's true.
Or even like last night I was on the phone with Quinn for like hours. We were playing Rocket League and just casual conversation for hours is so nice, dude. It's so nice. Also, we named our Rocket League team Bacon, Egg, and Cheese because that's what Jesus would do. Dude,
Moving swiftly on.
that conversation was so funny. But yeah, email us.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
upacreek
email
at
us. Yeah, don't pay us.
thebattlepod.com.
Just email us. We'll settle for an email. Not even any money.
We just want to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so we were talking about the
Quinn's lab, or no?
Oh well, the Quinn's lab.
yeah, whatever.
Too.
We
But,
kind of moved on from that.
But water, if you're on
Oh, yeah.
if you're on a lake in Manitoba in January and the outside temperature is -30,
Right.
the ice on the lake
It's
isn't going to
definitely
be
not 32.
32 degrees.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you asked an interesting question. You said, "Does it become more solid?"
No, it's just colder. But is that technically more solid? Because the molecules, the atoms are moving, they're vibrating less. Does that make it more solid?
Well, think about like the coconut oil that sits at room temperature.
Yeah, let's
out.
prep because we didn't catch that. I don't think on the pod.
We didn't.
Let's prep. We were talking about coconut oil, and
It technically freezes at 72 degrees Fahrenheit.
Because Blake was like, we were talking about solidification of olive oil, and Blake was like, "What's the term for solidify? It's not. What am I thinking of?" And then he's like, "Oh, freeze."
That's the scientific word.
Yeah.
is
So
freeze.
technically, like unrefined coconut oil will freeze at like 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Something like around there, yeah. But when it's like it's literally 69, 70 degrees in your house,
Right.
and a little bit too much light hits it and it gets a little runny.
Yeah.
Like it just barely, you can literally take your finger and push through it, even
Yeah.
though it is technically solid.
Like it's probably 75
If
in
you
my
put
house.
it in the fridge, you
It
wouldn't.
would be more solid.
You wouldn't be able to press through it.
Yes, it would be butter. Softened butter is
Right.
still solid.
It's still solid.
Are we dumb?
No, we're not.
Are we dumb?
If things do become more solid, they can be more solid.
More frozen.
But you can't be any more of a once you're a liquid. No, because you can gain viscosity. I wonder if there's a similar term because, like,
Ooh.
have you ever heard of the term? You know viscosity,
Of course.
like the runniness or non-runniness. Like how much does this fluid run?
The liquidity.
I wonder if there has to be a similar thing. I mean, there's tensile strength and all that shit for metals, and that sort of hints at what we're talking about, but more solid.
know.
You know what I mean? There's got to be a word for that. Things becoming more solid, like it's
Well, with liquid, it's just viscosity. That is the word.
right.
So with solid, it's just, is there a term for something being more solid? Like, I think we have a little
Hardness?
bit. Hardness? I don't know, because
My dick becomes more solid sometimes.
but like I think we have a funny perspective on freezing because we always just think about water.
Right.
And we don't think that ice gets more solid.
I
But
wonder if it
butter
does.
definitely gets more solid.
I wonder if ice gets more solid from when it goes from like 32 Fahrenheit to 0 Fahrenheit. I wonder if it gains.
more solidity. What is the word?
I'm thinking of if I was to walk out onto a lake and it break, is it because it's not because it's colder, it's because there's not as many
It's not thick.
layers of ice there.
Yeah.
It's not because it's if it were colder, it would be harder. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, because sometimes harder can mean more brittle.
That's true.
So I think our question is there a term for more frozen?
Wow, it just points at how things that are way more like nuanced than they might appear.
Because I think
Like
when we
things
think
that you
about water feels just as hard at 32 degrees as it does at negative 32 degrees. Negative
like
50 degrees.
Water's weird though.
Ice just feels like ice.
Right.
It doesn't feel like there's no softened ice.
Right.
So
It's just partially melted on the outside.
I don't know. I guess like.
It has all to do
But
with
that's
the
like
bonds.
specifically. Well, no, because I was gonna say specifically kind of like fats. Fats really get more solid.
But it's
But then
literally
some
because
metals
of the same
can.
phenomenon, the hydrogen bonds. That's literally they're becoming solid because of the same chemistry, the hydrogen bonds between the hydrogen atoms. But because water has that super polar oxygen, the hydrogen bonds form way more intense bonds.
It's a rigid structure,
Right, as
because
opposed
of the polarity
to
of water.
Something that's like a coconut oil or butter that is all organics,
Yeah.
all organic carbons. So it's just carbons with hydrogens and other things. The amount of polarity that exists between those molecules isn't
It's all over the
nearly.
place.
It's not nearly as strong as with the water, and furthermore, it varies because there's
that's what I meant.
There's different kinds of hydrocarbons in
Right.
that structure. It's not just one.
Yeah, the polarity can change throughout
Right.
the structure of the molecule.
So
Whereas water is very rigidly one side's
because it's
negative,
super,
one side's positive.
It's uniform,
Yeah.
way more uniform than Very
water's cool.
interesting.
But also, what I was going to say is there's different types of ice. There's like 10 different technical types of ice, specifically dealing with water. Wait,
How do you mean?
is anything ice that's not water that's frozen, or is
I think
ice
ice
specifically refers to water?
I think.
I do too. I don't know. But yeah, there's different types of ice. I think they're at different circumstances, depending on how the water is cooled, it can form a slightly different structure of the ice. I don't know, but I know for a fact there's multiple types of ice.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Because, I mean, like the first thing I'm thinking of, and this might not technically be two different types of ice, but there's clear ice and then cloudy ice. Like if you just throw water in the freezer in a bowl, typically the top of that's going to be cloudy because it's freezing as the air's escaping, right? And then all the water in the bottom of that bowl is going to be a lot more clear because the air as it was freezing, had time to start escaping. I don't fucking know. But, there's clear and cloudy ice, like cocktail ice. They want it to be as clear as possible if they're having like one block of ice for like whiskey on the rocks or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's very interesting.
It's weird.
More frozen. Is there a term? And what about, if we're got solids and liquids out of the way, what about gas? Is there a term for gas that's more thin? Is that like...
I think that would just be the pressure of the gas.
Yes, that makes sense. It's just pressure.
Just the pressure.
Because pressure is just the density of the molecules in the gas, right?
No. So
think
think about this room if it was perfectly closed off.
Yes.
If we pumped more air into here,
Yes.
the pressure would increase.
Because the density of the air molecules in the room increased. Because we pumped more molecules into the same space.
I guess when I'm thinking of in strictly scientific terms, when you say density, you're talking about how much does a particular thing weigh per its volume.
And what I am talking about is the entire volume of air.
Right.
I'm saying this room is a kind of like population density in a city. It's like how many air molecules are within each square foot of this room.
That can contribute to the pressure, but not necessary to increase pressure. Because let's say we in this room we close it off perfectly, but instead of adding more of whatever oxygen, nitrogen into the room to increase the density, we can increase the temperature and increase the speed at which molecules are moving with the same amount of molecules in the room, but because they're moving faster, they exert a greater pressure force on the outside
Right.
of whatever containing body that they're in.
That's interesting.
So you don't. There are ways to increase. There's two ways to increase pressure, I guess. Decrease the size of whatever container you're measuring the pressure of. One,
Well, adding air and decreasing the size of the container is the same thing
but it's not.
because you're changing the density.
right. But we're. That's true. I wonder.
Yeah, that's the same thing. If you're adding molecules or shrinking the volume of the container, you're making that volume of air more tightly packed, therefore more dense,
It's
which
PV
is
equals
increasing the
nRT.
pressure.
So pressure in the
It's
number.
fun. You're coming from like a scholarly standpoint, and I'm like, no, just think about it, dude.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
the same thing. But yeah,
This man's got terms.
yeah, piv nerd. We all know piv nerd.
I don't.
Pressure times volume equals the number of basically atoms,
Right.
and then R is a constant that relates all the terms together.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the constant. Anyway, nRT temperature.
So so again, to increase the pressure is either an increase in temperature or an increase in air density. It's one of the two.
Temperature. If you change the temperature, you can change the volume.
Right.
If you change if you change the temperature, you can change the pressure. If you change the volume, you can change the pressure.
Right.
If you change the number of atoms in the unit, you can
But
change the pressure.
that's my point.
It's 3 ways to change it.
But that's my point. Changing the volume and changing the number of atoms in a way is
But
a
they're
similar
notated.
thing.
It is, but they're all similar. They're all accomplishing the
Yeah.
same thing, but in different ways, right? They're not
Right.
the same thing.
So basically,
If you change the volume, temperature, or number of atoms.
so if you shrink the volume of the container, you
Yes.
increase the pressure.
Yes.
Or if you add additional molecules, you increase the pressure.
Right.
So basically,
Conversely-
those are the inverse of each other. One is adding more air, and one is taking away space to gain the same result.
They're not the inverse of each other.
I'm dumb, okay? I'm just explaining it the way my brain
Right.
is perceiving it right now.
The inverse would be actually because they're on. I'm trying to remember how that would be defined mathematically. But anyway, yeah, they do this. They accomplish the same thing.
Either the amount of atoms in the air is a constant, or the volume of the container is a constant,
Yeah,
and
not
you can
necessarily.
switch those.
Think about a balloon.
Oh man, you got me there.
But-
hold on. Let me think about this balloon for a second.
You're increasing the volume, which should make the pressure. If you increase the volume, right?
But the volume is only increasing as a result of adding additional molecules.
Right, but if you were changing one variable of the equation and you increase the volume, the pressure would decrease.
I don't think that I was ready for an elastic container to be thrown into
that's
this
too- it's
argument.
too much.
That is not what we're talking
But
about.
yeah, well, anyway, that's so cool.
But hold on though, balloons are interesting because the elasticity of the balloon is expanding while also tightening. So it's increasing volume while like also having more force pulling back
more
to try
pressure, more pressure. The
Whoa.
pressure is increasing, but the volume is also increasing.
So throw balloons out the window. That's witchcraft.
PV equals nRT is one of those fundamentals of chemistry. It is like the bread and butter of a lot of physical chemistry. It is because it relates to how much energy is produced by certain reactions. Like it's very fundamental. But it's really interesting to think about for sure.
But again, can something be more frozen?
Yeah, we've already established that.
But like, okay, so
Let's look up. I can just look up.
So
the term.
technically, is pressure and air the same as viscosity and liquid? That's the question we're asking.
Not really. They don't have to be the same. They're just different. They're two different things talking about two different principles.
So, but solid still doesn't have that thing at all.
I'm just going to type in the question: do solids become more solid?
I think
Which we've already answered.
I think the answer we're looking for is the way solid is measured in forms of solidness is just called temperature.
Effects of temperature and pressure on solubility. That's not what we want. We know that.
You hear me?
What?
I think the answer of how we determine if a solid is more solid, the term for that is simply temperature.
I wonder if you give Viagra to like.
Where are you going? Where the hell are
If
you
you
going?
dissolve some Viagra in some water, I wonder if it would be more rigid. Or if you dissolve some Viagra.
I do not think that is at all how works.
I'm sorry, I'm just being stupid. Why do solids become more soluble in water? That is not what we're asking. As the temperature increases.
So maybe we just stumbled upon a very important question that has not been answered.
I'm getting very basic stuff like, this is from NASA. In the solid phase, the molecules are closely bound to one another by molecular forces. Thanks, NASA.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
No, I think it's just temperature. Air changes based on pressure. Liquid changes based on viscosity. Solids change based on temperature. I think I solved it, dude. I think that's the answer.
Wait, what?
Air changes based on pressure. Liquid changes based on viscosity. Solids change based on temperature. And obviously temperature affects the whole spectrum. But I think the term we're looking for is just the temperature.
I think pressure can also affect a solid, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. But like, what about soft metals? Like sodium is a very soft metal. I believe you can, like a solid block of sodium can be cut like butter. Maybe potassium as well. Like those soft, really soft metals, if you freeze them, I imagine they get harder.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. Do they? If they're like butter.
We need to experiment, Blake. We need to. How much does it cost to order a few grams?
Have you seen that guy
potassium?
taking plastic bags in a microwave and he's making fuel with them on?
I have not.
Dude, you got. I don't know who this dude
I watched
is.
a dude make candy from styrofoam.
Oh my god. Here I am worried about fucking pouring hot water into my styrofoam cup. This man's making candy out of the bitch. Maybe I'm just a pussy.
Like I believe he like melted down the styrofoam and got like the certain chemicals from the styrofoam he needed to make candy.
So they sugar in the styrofoam?
I don't remember.
Is that why I liked to chew on it when I was a kid?
It's been a minute since I watched that, but
I know you ate your styrofoam cup when you were a kid.
But we know that
that shit tastes good. That's why you make candy.
We know that a lot of candy's just fucking wax.
What?
Basically, just like it's like
what?
Don't put me on the spot.
You're full of shit. Ain't no candy made of wax, bro.
Oh my god, what is a Laffy Taffy?
You buying that Mexican
the
chocolate?
Fuck is a Laffy Taffy made out of?
That's true. Plastic.
That's what I'm saying.
Laffy Taffy I could buy is fucking wax.
That's my point.
Yeah. Is it at least beeswax?
Like a now and later? The fuck is that made out of?
What are you talking? Oh yeah, same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like the taffy, like the artificial taffies. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just like caramelized sugar.
It's probably made out of like fucking horse ass and fucking weird shit.
Like, I wonder if there's
like
collagen
gelatin
in it. Yeah, like gelatin. We have so many questions.
So many.
So many questions.
This is why we need to start having experts.
Yes, Neil deGrasse Tyson. No,
that dude.
Yeah, I was about to say no. That was off the top. That was a bad option.
Don't fuck that dude. But like,
no, he's a great scientific communicator. I wish he was a little more open minded about some topics. Other than that, yeah, I think he's a good dude.
I just think
I don't necessarily agree with everything he says.
I think that I don't believe him when he says that he doesn't believe he doesn't know everything. Like, I think that like he thinks that there are some scientific truths that aren't actually truths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But no, I mean,
I think he takes certain liberties that he doesn't have.
But here's the positive. This is what I will say. Even if some of
his stance on God,
his stance on aliens,
the aliens.
It doesn't get
wild.
me at all.
Like the one that the aliens one is really like. So wait. You don't think that aliens would be concerned about us at all if we were sharing the same galaxy with them?
Well, like there's so many variables. Like the whole theory, I was about to call it stupid. I probably shouldn't. The whole theory about the Anunnaki came down and they
seeded life on Earth?
They seeded life on Earth so that we could like harvest gold for them, and they take gold and suspend it in their atmosphere.
We should be more explicit. I think it's like they believe that they took the primates that were already on Earth and they basically manipulated their genetics.
Yeah. The point that I'm making is, I feel like Neil deGrasse Tyson often says like they would just study us. You know, him and Joe Rogan always do the argument of like studying ants. You know, and we're like, dude, there's plenty of scientists that just study ants their whole fucking life.
Right.
But my point is, they might not just be watching us; they might be using us.
My theory is
like there's so many different options and variables as to why a spacefaring civilization might be interested in us.
Let me get real crazy. Let's imagine that right now as a human race, we're basically trying to harness the power. If we can harness the power of this Earth and our sun, we could do unimaginable things.
Yeah.
Unimaginable things. Things that would literally make time and space a new playground for us.
Yes.
That's just our sun. Right. Let's say that there was another let me finish, please. Let's say there's another species that has been around for, let's say, 1 billion years.
Right.
In our galaxy, and they've managed to progress their evolution for 1 billion years as an intelligent species. And now they don't want just the power of their sun. They need to seed life in all of the possible places that it is.
Right.
In order to facilitate the universal harness, or not the universal, the harnessing of a galactic amount of energy. What could that do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe but is there a certain point of diminishing returns, or is it like, do you know what I'm saying here? Because I think there's levels, right? Like if you can harness the power of our sun, that's one thing. But if you can harness the power of multiple suns, what?
But this is what I was going to say.
Do you know what I'm saying?
What exactly do you mean by harness the power of the sun? Because, like, do you just mean solar panel type technology? Because we know that there is a density of power that we can get here on Earth with every, square foot of sunlight.
Not if we what if we deployed a huge solar panel? Like, what if we covered Mercury with solar panels? And somehow we figured
half of it.
Well, no, because it rotates.
It's tidally locked.
Oh, is it? It's always dark side facing?
I might be wrong about that.
I'm pretty sure it spins and orbits.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it has days, because it definitely has days, because, we studied the days of... It just has much longer days, maybe, or it has much faster days than us. Like in one day of Earth, it has like 10 days or something.
I want to say it's the opposite. I want to say one Mercury day is like 14 Earth days.
We're getting away from the point a little bit. We'll continue.
No, I think when we talk about harnessing...
59 days. 59 days is the length of 59 Earth days.
So it rotates extremely slowly.
Which is weird.
What's a year?
That's the part. It's going to be zipping around.
Zipping.
Yeah.
Zipping. I bet a year is shorter than a day on Mercury. I don't know.
88 days.
So, yeah, dude, they have less than 2 days a year. As if there's people there.
What? No, they have 88 days. So that would mean...
wait, 1 year is 88 Mercury days?
88. So...
1 year is 88 Earth days.
Yes. 1 year on Mercury is 88 Earth days.
And 1 day on Mercury is 59 Earth days.
That means it takes 88 days for them to completely orbit the sun.
Yeah. In which case, they've went through about a day and a quarter.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Right, because
they have less than 2 days a year.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what I'm sorry, I'm slow.
Every year is like a day and a quarter.
Right. Because it takes, how many, was it 59?
59, I believe, and then 88. So yeah, it's less than a day and a half is 1 year.
So anyway, we cover Mercury with solar panels.
Right.
Or do one even better, create a huge solar panel that orbits the sun.
Yes.
and just.
Well, here's what I'm thinking.
You don't. So you see?
No,
what,
I see what you're saying,
Like,
but I think there's a limit to that because I think we understand that there's at this like.
Because right now we're trying to harness the power of just this Earth.
Yes.
Right? But if once we surpass that, we'll go on to try to harness the power of our solar system, meaning our sun and, things that are neighboring us like asteroids or whatever. You know what I mean? We can harness so much more power than we do. So I wonder if there would be a need, like if there's a diminishing point, or is more power always equal to greater results, more power? Like if you harness the power, basically my theory is these beings that have been present in our galaxy for however God knows how, maybe they're not just contained to our galaxy, maybe they're
right.
If these people are trying to harness the power of if these creatures are trying to harness the power of a galaxy,
I mean, we can call them people.
They're
more advanced than us.
They're for sure intergalactic, but maybe what they're trying to do is literally be able to be interdimensional travelers.
Like,
because if you had enough power,
intergalactic is such a huge fucking step.
But think about intergalactic to literal interdimensional. I
think you'd have to be interdimensional in order to be intergalactic.
Like, what if
I
that
don't
was
think
the step?
you can
So in order to be
physically travel the distance between galaxies.
Like,
do you realize how fucking far that is from one galaxy to another? It's in one star away is insane. And then what's the width of the Milky Way? It's like hundreds, if not thousands of light years.
So you think that if you are intergalactic, you are by definition interdimensional? No,
I'm not. But I'm obviously we're just speculating. We have no clue. But I don't think there's a physical way to travel the distance. Like, how far away is Andromeda?
It's like 200 light years.
It's way more than that. It's 2.537 million light years away.
Oh my God, that's not real.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Andromeda.
You're thinking about stars.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the closest.
Not Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri is like what, 200 light years?
I want to say like 80 something.
So yes, we're pointing out the same thing. Just like there's a huge jump from
4.367 light years away.
Not very far.
Not very far.
Okay,
we can walk there.
So this is our point, though. There's a big difference between what would be outside of your solar system, traveling outside of your solar system. Interstellar
versus intergalactic.
Versus intergalactic.
Interstellar
versus interdimensional. Are those the three steps?
I don't think you get the intergalactic without being interdimensional.
Let me finish my crazy point. Do you think that if you gain the power of the sun, you can become interstellar? And then you gain the power of multiple, become
I got to get this point
intergalactic, and then gain the power of a full galaxy and become interdimensional.
When you say harness the power of the sun,
right.
I don't think solar panels. I think we figure out fusion.
Okay, sure.
Then it's not about solar panels. It's about having a fusion reactor that we can put it into a fucking spaceship. It's not about like having to have
But our fusion reactor would never be as big as the sun.
No, but we can have multiple. You can, just like nuclear.
I think we're stupid in that we don't take what is already given to us. All of God's shit that He...
What do you mean?
Like, I think that...
We're taking oil out of the ground. God gave that to us.
I know, but then... but then, I don't know. I guess my point is like, we try to... I don't know, man. I think that I don't know. I need to think about that more.
So I like that you got onto the space topic because I had a point written down that I
think we don't take what's right as in, like, why do we fucking take ibuprofen and make it in this crazy big complex laboratory?
Yeah, money. Just money.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like we think we make things better because we make it like stronger.
I don't think we do.
You don't think what?
I think that's a misconception.
Do we make things better?
No. I think like specifically talking about medicines. I think that's all marketing. That's all about money. I don't think the pharmaceutical companies are actually thinking like, oh no, this is stronger and better than the plant. No, they only synthesize it so that they can patent it. It's all about money. You can't patent a plant. You have to be able to synthesize the medicine that you would get from the plant. You got to be able to synthesize that. Then you can patent the process of synthesizing it, and you can then make money off of it. That's the only reason we do it. That's the only reason we have pills instead of fucking plants.
Right.
That's the only reason we take medicine instead of eat a better diet.
Right.
Is because you can't patent a good diet. You can't patent fucking kale.
Kale's not good for you. No, I'm just kidding.
But
no,
so,
I'm sorry, man. That was a stupid point.
So back to space. Like,
an alternate point.
First of all, how ridiculous is it that, yes, I don't think you can get to intergalactic without being interdimensional. Because that's I'll just say 2 million light years. I forget the 2.5, 2.5 million light years. That's insane.
No, I think
at the speed of light, it's taking you 2 million years to get there.
Let's say.
So I think that in order to be truly intergalactic, you have to be interdimensional. You're not.
No, I don't think
unless you have literally a Death Star of a spaceship that's just a roaming planet that's 100% self-sufficient, with like a nuclear fusion or fission reactor in the very center of it that powers the whole thing. And then basically your spaceship is a rogue planet that can harbor generations and generations of people.
I think it takes more energy to literally escape this dimension than it does just to bend the one that we're in.
Okay.
I would imagine.
I see your point there.
I have no fucking clue because I'm not God and I'm not one of these
I see
aliens.
your point there.
But like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel part of me.
And video games don't fucking count. Your computer simulate doesn't fucking count. Okay.
We're so in the weeds here. I have no understanding of what I'm talking about. But I feel if you get to the point of being able to manipulate our gravity to bend it to like move almost instantaneously from galaxy to galaxy, that's basically interdimensional travel.
But it's not.
I know, it's so strange. But is it? Do you have to have a certain amount of control of a higher dimension in order to bend gravity to that way? We don't know that.
I think
maybe the way we bend gravity is through utilizing the power of the fourth dimension. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Either way, I don't think your little meat body is traveling 2.5 million light years to Andromeda.
It's way more likely to be interdimensional.
Yes.
Which
Interstellar's like technically okay, but here's the point. Here's what I want to ask you. Say we send off a voyage on this giant ship to Andromeda, and we obviously aren't going the speed of light.
First of all, I think we should just start by exploring our galaxy a little bit.
This is a hypothetical I got. I'm completely changing the subject, but it's kind of staying on the same theme. So you're on a intergenerational starship,
right,
headed to Andromeda. Let's say it's going to take 1,000 years to complete the journey.
I thought it literally was like 200 million.
No, excuse me, Alpha Centauri. Excuse me, I'm talking Interstellar.
Alpha Centauri
is a little over 4 million or 4 light years. Good God, I'm getting
4 light years.
Tongue-tied. I'm getting tongue twisted. Okay. 4 light years.
Yeah.
So let's say we can get our ship up to a speed so it takes us 1,000 years to make that trip.
Okay, I follow you.
So that would 1,000 years is what?
20 generations probably.
If you
probably more than that.
Imagine you're I don't know. I kind of want to say first generation so that you have the experience of being on Earth. But let's just say you were on that ship and you had a child.
It's definitely more than 20 generations.
What do you teach them about life? What do you tell them? How do you educate them to continue the mission? What do you like? Right now, all of our what we raise our kids about life is Earth, the birds, the bees, sex, life is so rooted in Earth in the way we raise our children. If you were on that intergenerational mission to another star system, what would you tell your kids about life?
That would be the process of the genetic bottleneck. Like they would become different beings. Like they would no longer be humans. After 1,000 years, their bodies wouldn't look the same. Unless they perfectly replicated the gravity in there.
In this hypothetical situation, they could easily do that.
Yeah.
All they got to do is rotate the fucking ship. But yeah, what would you tell your kid about life?
A lot of the same stuff, right? Are they still going to have to fuck? They're still going to have to eat. They're still going to have to.
But there's no vitamin D. You're not at our sun anymore.
That's true.
Like,
fuck.
Like,
I wonder
so
if,
much
I
of
wonder
what we
if
love.
supplementation can actually.
Oh
like,
man, like, and then like, how do you impart them with the positive outlook on this mission for them to intentionally want to keep it going? Like, what if 3 generations in, all the fucking Gen Zers of this spacecraft are like, fuck this mission.
Yeah,
And nobody's on the same page
Let's
anymore.
go to some other star.
But like, how do you keep the next generations on the same page? I feel
I
like
think that would be an easy one.
I feel like
The
there's
same way they
almost
keep
got to
people-
be some sort of AI indoctrination. Like, you send your kids to school
It's the same
on
way
this
as
ship.
generations of Christians growing up to be Christians. It's the same thing. Your religion would be around probably, like going
man.
towards this new frontier and developing a new civilization so
Yeah.
humans could live on past even the life of Earth, which is incredible. I mean, think about like the you would think that the lifespan of a planet would far outweigh that of a single species on the planet, right? You know what I mean? But if you are so favored by God, let's call it, that you as a species are able to extend your presence past the duration of the planet that created you, that is insane.
That
is insane.
Is that the goal?
I'd rather just die on Earth. I'd rather go down with a ship.
Dude, that's a very, very interesting little like thought experiment. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would.
I kind of
like-
want to see the comet hit. Like, can you imagine being the one?
Oh, like, remember the
Oh my
yeah,
god!
a few episodes.
You
back,
better run
I was
towards
like-
it.
Yeah, I was like, I hope it hits me in the fucking face. You know, like, but I don't. But like, seriously, if do we only have that perspective because we've been here
God,
on
I'm
Earth?
just kidding. I'm not trying to tempt.
Is that just a nah? Fuck it, dude. Take me out right now.
No, don't. I don't. I'm not ready yet.
You've got kids.
I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter. But like, you'd
But, like-
almost rather them die so they didn't have to suffer for.
But like, we're only nostalgic for the Earth because we love it. We've been here. We know the warmth of the sun. We know the sound of the birds chirping. We know the beautiful feeling of a flowing river between your legs when you're
laying
standing
down
in
at
it.
night when you're tired.
Yeah, like, but if you didn't have that, if you were the 10th generation in on this fucking spaceship, is there a,
It'd probably be like
Do
this
we-
place we're going is fucking sick.
would we put an artificial forest into the, like, not artificial, but would we put a forest into this spaceship that we fed with UV light and grew our own forest so that we had outdoor, like, will we try to keep people in touch with what Earth was?
The way it is going, no, probably not. They'd probably just have all these,
Oh, man.
probably not. It probably wouldn't be that way.
Did you know NASA wants to put a base on the moon by 2026?
That doesn't surprise me.
And Russia and China want to joint build a nuclear reactor on the moon.
Can you imagine if you could deploy a nuke from the moon?
What's crazy
That's
to me
access to
is
like
if-
every part of the world in 24 hours easily.
if they put a nuclear reactor on the moon, we'd be able to see it.
I don't know if they put it on the dark side.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they'd put it.
Probably on the dark side.
I feel like they would want us to see it.
No, they wouldn't, because they'd do some extra shit. They'd probably put some stuff on the light side for us to see and then do some crazy shit on the back side.
But dude, just imagine by the time, like, dude, they're planning this by 2026.
Tides would become more intense if they put enough fucking shit up there.
I don't think they're putting that much shit up there.
What if they
That'd have
put
to be a
so
lot of
much
mass,
shit on the
dude.
moon that the moon just fell out of orbit? Just started falling towards the sun.
Oh, Jesus. But, like, imagine if they want to do this by, let's say, even say 2030, when we're 33 years old. What's going to happen when we're 70? Are we going to look up at the moon and see a fucking city?
That would be
How
awesome.
wild would that
That's what I'm
fucking
saying.
be? To just like look, every night when there's a full moon, you just see like the
Fuck
lights
that,
of a
dude. The moon
city.
sucks.
Oh man, would it though? Maybe it doesn't.
It'd be cool to go do backflips. Like, do like a triple backflip That'd be fucking sick if they had like figured out like a really like sporty like astronaut suit, and it wasn't like this big old fucking Michelin Man bullshit
Yeah.
with a.
I think they're
like,
desperately trying to come up with more agile suits.
I'm sure.
Desperately.
I'm sure.
I was watching a video yesterday about people dropping tools during spacewalks.
And they just can't pick them up.
No, they just sometimes they can lunge for them, and they're tethered, and their tether can be like 80 feet. So they're just slowly floating, reaching for that object for like 80 feet, then their tether just. I could not imagine
people have
being
been
on a
lost in
spacewalk,
space,
dude.
right?
I don't know.
People have been.
I don't know.
Unless
Is that public knowledge?
Unless all the movies that I've seen are bullshit.
I don't know. Dude.
How often is it a play in a movie to have some guy float off from
Also,
a fucking
like,
spaceship, dude?
Would they tell us?
Yeah, I think they would.
Is that public knowledge? Because I don't think
Also,
the U.S. publicly admits if they've ever lost an astronaut that wasn't fucking the Challenger explosion.
Has any
Or
astronaut
that wasn't through explosion, not just floating away from a fucking ship. I don't think we've ever lost an astronaut
NASA
that way.
astronaut has ever gotten lost in space.
And what about Russia?
The evidence cited to support the lost cosmonaut theories is generally regarded as inconclusive, and several cases have been confirmed as hoaxes. In the 1980s, American journalist James Oberg researched space-related disasters in the Soviet Union but found no evidence of these lost cosmonauts. Has anyone ever floated away in space? Thankfully, an astronaut being irretrievably stranded away from the spacecraft has never happened before.
Okay.
The astronaut...
Yeah, I didn't think so.
The first astronaut to float away from their safety of their ship without a tether was Bruce McCandless, who reached 320 feet away from the Challenger space shuttle on February 7th, 1984.
Oh God,
This is Newsweek, so
that would be terrifying. You're a football field away from your spacecraft,
they can cover shit up though.
just looking down at the Earth.
They can 100% cover shit up.
Yeah. So I got a little trivia question for you.
Okay.
So Russia would put the first satellite in space. U.S. put the second satellite in space. Do you know what country was the third country to put a satellite in orbit?
I'm going to guess India. Pakistan.
Nope.
Japan.
You got to think, this is 70s, I believe.
Oh, 70s?
You'll never guess it.
Let me think.
I was shocked.
Is it a European nation?
I will say Japan was the fourth.
Was it a European nation?
Yes.
France.
Yes. How crazy is it? I do not think about France as having a space
They also have
association.
They also have a full government agency devoted to extraterrestrial encounters.
Ah, I didn't know that.
They do.
I do know that Japan is putting a lot of effort into mining asteroids.
That is fucking... dude, the Japanese are on some shit,
They are.
bro.
Well,
They're on some
do you want to know
shit.
why?
Tokyo sucks.
Part of the reason...
I'm just kidding. I've heard Tokyo is awesome. It's just crazy the way they live.
Yeah. But...
It's everything I'm scared of my life being like.
After World War II, they were restricted from developing offensive rockets. So for the longest, they were very, very, very restricted on their ability to make rockets that could get...
By the United States?
Yes. Well, or NATO or whatever. I don't know. Whenever that was... Or the UN.
So the United States?
Pretty much.
Yeah. But
because of that, they kind of organically lean more towards this resourceful spacefaringness. I don't know how to word that any better. To where they weren't looking for like surveillance satellites. It was all about science exploration and data. That's everything it was about. Partially because they were restricted from making any offensive rockets, which means like they weren't able to have the rockets be steered, I believe, autonomously. Like they couldn't be guided missiles. Mm-hmm. Therefore, when they shot them from the ground, they had to aim them to exactly where they wanted them to go. They couldn't guide them.
what the fuck?
Because a guided missile is considered an offensive weapon. whereas a non-guided missile is considered a defensive weapon, like anti-aircraft or something like that.
What in the fuck, dude?
Wild. So a lot of rockets still to this day in Japan are launched at an angle instead of straight up, because we launch straight up, and then once we get lifting, the guidance system rotates and then we go. So, but it's really cool that Japan has really focused specifically on like data collection and scientific exploration. It's fucking sick.
Dude, mining asteroids, if we could figure that out,
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like the ticket.
Yes, it does.
Like, it really fucking seems like the ticket.
But like,
we need a lot of fucking raw materials to do this whole battery thing, and I don't see it all coming from Earth, bro.
Dude, I had a
we gotta do it outside of Earth, because we're gonna fuck this shit up.
So how do we do it? Do we what would be cool? Okay. Crazy idea. Call me Elon for this one.
Okay.
We go to Mars. We got a base on Mars.
We guide asteroids into Mars.
Into Mars's orbit. And then we start mining them in Mars's orbit.
Fuck some shit up, dude. We're gonna hit Earth with a fucking asteroid. It's gonna be bigger than the one that fucking took the dinosaurs out too. Because we're stingy as fuck. We're gonna be trying to get the biggest fucking asteroid.
Instead of constantly going all the way to the asteroid belt, mining it and coming back or doing whatever, we got a base on Mars, bring asteroids into orbit, mine them, store the materials on Mars, and then it's just a quick mission sending materials back to Earth. It's less
dude, still you can only try to go to Mars like once every 6 months, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So they did have to shit on
Well, no, he said you can technically go anytime, but it wouldn't be the most efficient route.
At some points it would be wild.
And sometimes you risk missing, and you're going to be at Jupiter if you miss.
That'd be crazy,
That'd be wild.
Crazy. Can you, dude?
Oh fuck, wrong turn.
Can you really imagine, dude? The way that fucking what's his name, Cat Williams was talking about black holes was so funny, because he was like, wait, let me get this straight. Everything they touch, they destroy, and they suck in. Right, everything.
Right.
And you got two dimensions. Wait, it's like, it was just like, I can't even do it the way he did it, but it was like, literally, there are things in there. There are actual things in the universe. Everything they touch, they just absorb.
Yeah.
Just never to be seen again.
There's a theory.
And they're everywhere. They literally are the centers of our galaxies.
There's a theory.
And the galaxy's just slowly being eaten by this fucking black hole.
We've talked about this theory plenty of times. Like, inside each black hole could be another universe.
Right. Who knows?
So I heard this physicist saying that if
I think that's
theoretically
literally how the singularities form.
Well,
I think that's literally how singularities form.
So was the Big Bang a supernova?
No, it was not, because here is the progression.
Well, let me finish the point about the physicist.
Supernova into another possibly solar system galaxy, right? And then when a black hole gets to the point of no return, just like I'm assuming, just like every star dies, eventually a black hole will get to the point where it can no longer function. And supernova itself, like, I don't know what would happen.
I think that does happen. I think black holes can grow indefinitely. I don't think they can nova, because they've already.
I think the Big Bang was probably like a singularity. A singularity is literally a point.
That's what I'm saying. So a giant ass star went supernova, and then was massive enough to form a black hole.
Right.
That was our Big Bang.
No, I think that the Big Bang happens when the black holes all merge together. All the black holes of the universe, just absorb literally every piece of matter. Yeah. And that literally is a singularity. When the black holes consume everything.
But it's a singularity before they consume everything.
Is it?
It's still considered a singularity.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
this physicist was saying
I'm totally
that
bullshitting. I have no idea.
theoretically, if you were inside of a black hole, as the black hole consumed matter from the outside, inside of the black hole, you would see just what would appear as an expanding universe, because the black hole is expanding. And he was basically just saying that hypothetically, there would be no difference if you were inside of the black hole than it would look to us looking at our indefinitely expanding universe. It would literally, theoretically, it would look exactly the same. Because we're in a universe that is constantly expanding.
So we're just inside one of these black holes.
Yeah, and then it's all fractal, dude. And then we have black holes. Then there's universes in those black holes. And then those universes have black holes. It's fractal.
That's the interdimensional aspect of this.
Is it?
Yeah. It seems to me like.
So is inside of a black hole, is it not the same dimension?
It doesn't seem like it because we haven't been able to connect with it.
Oh my God.
Right?
Black holes are so misunderstood.
Yeah. Literally, most of the science has been done in the last, 40?
I don't have no clue.
No, since, I think, Hawking.
Yeah.
He literally
Hawking.
pretty much, the event horizon and all
I
that
think
shit.
Newton theorized black holes? Not Newton, excuse me. Einstein theorized black holes?
Yeah, I think they were speculated upon.
Yeah, and I think Hawking was the first one to basically.
Did you
detect
hear
one.
about the supernova that's going to be visible from Earth?
No.
It's going to be visible for 2 weeks in the northern hemisphere. Yeah. With
Cool.
with binoculars. I can't remember. Here, let me look at it.
Man, I fucking love talking about space.
Me too.
But
Yeah, fuck politics.
I'm so dumb. I'm
Me too.
so dumb, dude.
I think we got somewhere today. We were thinking hard. Supernova 2024. View nova explosion. New star in Northern Crown. The star system, located 3,000 light years away from Earth, is predicted to become visible to the unaided eye soon. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime viewing opportunity, as the nova outburst only occurs about... They put this terribly. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime viewing opportunity, as the nova outburst only occurs about every 80 years. T. Coronae Borealis, or TCRB, last exploded in 1947. So this thing is already supernova?
That confuses me. That makes no sense.
A giant red star and white dwarf orbit each other in this animation of a nova. The red giant is a large sphere in shades of red, orange, and white, with the side facing the white dwarf.
Dwarf?
The highest shades. The white dwarf is hidden in a bright glow of white and yellows, which represent
So it's a binary star system where one of the stars has nova and the second one's about to nova? That's what it sounds like. A star can't fucking supernova twice. That's not how that works.
It sounds like it, though.
Because once it goes supernova, it's, I assume, a neutron star, in which case it can't collapse any further because it's as dense as any object in the fucking universe can be. Other than a black hole, potentially.
It looks like the white dwarf is going to nova. When the red giant moves behind the white dwarf, a nova explosion of the white dwarf ignites, filling the screen with white light.
I'm so confused.
So apparently the white dwarf novas regularly.
That makes no sense.
That's what it says.
That makes zero fucking sense.
That's what it said. And I was like, every 80 years. There's novas going on all the time. We just can't see them.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the original paragraph. A star system located, blah, 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 blah. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime viewing opportunity, as the nova outburst only occurs about every 80 years. That's what it says. It last exploded in 1946 And astronomers believe it will do so again between February and September. So we don't know when it will.
In rare cases, a supergiant might have a dwarf star join into a binary system.
That's what exactly what's going on.
And then
here.
the dwarf star goes through a type 1A supernova.
So there's multiple kinds of novas.
Relatively soon after, the supergiant can become unstable, mainly due to the extra mass, and itself goes. So no, that's two different stars. It's saying the nova from the one that's in the binary star system made the second star unstable. That's not one star going nova. That's what that said.
The white dwarf can nova multiple times. And it says sometimes. It's dude. Literally, another thing Cat Williams said that was really interesting to me. He was like, basically, as you go further and further into space, you just realize you in somebody's workshop, and they done made every star you could possibly imagine, every single way, every galaxy you can imagine, every single different way, every planet. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just chaos of construction of half-finished shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. All right.
So I'm think literally so many different possibilities that can exist. And,
of course.
But I think like that's what it was it was basically asserting that star novas every 80 years, about every 80 years.
I want to know more. I want to know more about that.
We have to ask Quinn about this.
Completely is illogical to me at all that a star can nova more than once. You have to ask Quinn about this. I will. I wish I could. I'm about to.
I need to get out of here.
Oh no. Let's see if Quinn will answer.
What's happening?
Yo, man, you are on the podcast.
Am I?
Me and Blake have a serious question.
Have you heard about the supernova that's supposed to happen this year that's going to be visible from the northern hemisphere?
I mean, I haven't heard of one that's like supposed to happen this year.
Yeah, it says it's supposed to happen between February and October, but it hasn't happened yet. So it's supposed to be soon. Do what?
No, it's supernova. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard of that. I mean, my understanding of how well we can predict supernovas is like that it's like not that constrained, and it would be like within like a couple decade period of time that they think a supernova is going to happen.
Apparently, what we just read, what we're confused about is basically this thing that was posted about this eclipse being, sometime between February and October, said that it is a white dwarf that orbits a red giant, and at certain periods, the orbit causes it to supernova, and it happens the article said every 80 years. Does that sound right to you?
I mean, that seems possible.
It says that what kind of nova was it? It said it was a type 1A?
No, that was a different. That was just all I asked was if a star could supernova more than once.
Right.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, every 80 years seems crazy. It would probably. I don't know that it would be like a proper supernova. Yeah, it would probably be like a flash of some kind, like a helium flash or something.
Right.
If you have some time, will you look into this?
Thing. It's a big explosion. What's up?
I said, if you have some time, will you look into this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll look it up.
I assume you would. I assume.
Send that to me.
I know. I mean, just look it up in general because I know you. I want to see it. Apparently, if it happens this year, it's visible in the northern hemisphere.
If it happens, then it'll be visible for like
weeks. It said.
Like weeks. It'll be visible for like more than a month probably.
It said what I read originally was that for a certain period of time it was going to be visible to the naked eye, and then later it would be visible with binoculars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So hold on. Can a star truly supernova more than once?
It's been a while since I've really thought about stellar. I don't know like what the definition of a supernova is, but in terms of like, like a type 1A supernova would like blow it apart. I mean, kind of, because it can supernova and then the remnants can reform into a star. But I mean, it's sort of a different star at that point too.
Right.
So like, I would say no, but I'm no expert.
But also in the thing that I read where I just asked if a star could supernova more than once, it said that in a binary star system where a red giant is orbiting a dwarf or vice whatever.
Yeah.
A white dwarf is orbiting a red giant.
Either way, orbiting each other, however the fuck they orbit. That if the dwarf novaed, it would disrupt the giant and make it unstable and cause it to have a higher probability of going nova. So that wasn't saying that a star could nova twice. That was just saying that in a binary star system, the nova of one star can perhaps trigger the other one.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. You got a big like pressure wave going out from any kind of supernova.
So do all supernovas result in a neutron star?
No.
I mean, some result in black holes.
Yeah.
So
those are the two big outcomes that we know about.
Is there another option that we know of?
I think there's a difference between a star novaing and a star supernovaing. Like I think those are two different
there's
things.
different types of supernova.
Like a supernova,
That's what we're talking. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So this star is having a nova, and a nova event that apparently happens regularly because of its orbit around the star. There's some causal relationship going on.
That's what that article. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Which.
Yeah, I'd have to read into that. It's been a while since I've thought about.
It's pretty interesting, and it's cool that we'll be able to see it. I'm going to see it.
I'll get Blake to send you a link to that article, and you can email in at upacreek@thepaddlepod.com and tell us what you know about.
Yeah, sure. For your listeners, that'll probably be the next episode that I'll have to get back to y'all on that. But yeah.
All right, we were consulting your expertise.
Yeah, you want to ask?
No, do I get to ask them?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't want to ask you.
Oh, okay. Isis wants to ask a question through me. So what's the question?
Are we pro or anti-Ariana Grande?
Are we pro or anti-Ariana Grande on the podcast?
I hear she's been going through a tough time lately. Like she's lost some weight, looking kind of skinny.
Was she ever not looking kind of skinny?
I no, it's just kind of I think Hannah was telling me it was kind of extreme right now.
I
kind of hate what she did to Mac Miller, but
I was about to say my opinion on Ariana Grande is solely based on how well she treated Mac Miller.
They send their opinion on Ariana Grande.
But you can't be mad. She paid him attention. It didn't work out. That's not her fault.
I have no clue about that relationship.
I don't either. I wish she would have saved him from death. That's what I wish.
Yeah. I know she was very distraught when he died.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. Well, I appreciate.
Wow. Why does she ask that?
I'm gonna have to look into all that. I haven't really thought about stellar.
What caused
a lot recent.
What caused Isis to ask that?
I don't know. Just interest, I think.
Well, they asked you a question. I don't want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
She's.
Oh, what is she? Is she pro or anti?
Yeah, what's her opinion?
And we're anti in this household.
Can you give a justification?
Yeah, so she's been dating she's not a girl's girl is the short version. She's been dating a dude who's like he plays SpongeBob in like a Broadway musical, I guess.
What?
But
how gay?
Before they started dating, he was like married and like had a kid, and she's basically like a 6-month-old baby, and and she basically like home wrecked like.
Oh, that's not cool.
That kind of sounds like her, to be honest, dude.
Also, like, what do you can do better than SpongeBob?
Dude, right? That's what I'm saying.
Dude, that children fan base is where it's at, dude. You get them while they're young. You got them forever.
All right, so hold on. A final question, Quinn.
Yeah.
If a star does supernova and turns into a neutron star, that star is now as dense as anything we know of, right? Other than a black hole, is a neutron star the most dense thing that we've ever discovered?
I think so. Pretty sure. I think other than black holes, they are. I know they're so dense that they start to turn into degenerate matter. So it's like the atoms and molecules inside them are so tightly packed together that they start to behave different. Like they don't behave the same way they normally would, like chemically speaking.
Right. I think me and you have talked about that before.
Yeah. So that's where I think I've talked to y'all about helium flashes before, but that's where helium flashes come from. Is like you can build up all this like stockpile of degenerate helium, but then it it won't fuse the way that normal helium would fuse and like produce energy and all that stuff.
Yeah, I would
So then,
imagine
like,
as the heat increases so greatly in these points of denseness, like a point of singularity almost, that all the bonds between the matter just completely dissolve, and it's just a soup of components of matter that is just totally unhinged and totally ununiform.
Yeah. And I mean, you gotta think too. Like it is kind of a soup, but it's also, I mean, it's basically a solid because it's like, yeah, like it's so.
It's
high
dense.
pressure that all the molecular bonds break down, and you have just like
Right.
individual
Damn it.
atomic components.
I wish Blake
But then
had
they're
more
all so
time.
tightly
Yeah, I
packed
gotta hop.
together.
If Blake had more time, we should ask Quinn about the can solid be more solid? That whole argument we had at the beginning of the episode.
That's the beauty of the podcast. We always
All
got
right.
next week.
All right, Quinn,
I'll listen in, and then
you got to get caught up so you can keep corresponding with us.
Yeah, dude. I'm still back on episode 27. I'm catching up from my training break that I took.
Well, all right, bro. I'll let you go. Thank you for our science corresponding. Very greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
no problem.
we had no clue we were talking about. So
As always.
I don't have much of a clue. So, I'll have to go look into it.
You most definitely have more of a clue than we do.
Fair enough, I guess.
All right, bro. Take it easy. Love you, dude.
Yeah, love y'all. Have a good day.
all right, bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Quinn. One last thing. That pothos is yours. Take that home with you. The one in the water. You can keep it in the water pretty much indefinitely.
Do I need to feed it with something?
Just keep the water at a decent level. The water will drain over time.
It doesn't need any carbon?
It's fine.
No?
I would give it a few weeks in the water to where it has a nice little root ball in the bottom of that glass, and then just put it in some dirt. But you were saying you wanted some houseplants, so I got a little
sweet.
trimming for you.
Thanks, bro.
But yeah, honestly, you can leave it in that glass for like a month. It'll be fine. Just keep the water topped off.
Thanks, bro.
Well, all right. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode.
All right, see you next week.
See you next week. Hopefully, I will say we might end up missing next week. Hopefully not, but next week is Easter. So
Yeah, we have to observe it, even though that we're not.
yeah, fucking got to make the fam happy.
That's
But
what
yeah,
I'm
so-
going to right now.
Hopefully we can do an episode next week, but if we miss it, then that's our excuse. But thank you guys for listening.